Folks, this might be the shortest match reaction of my brief history here on YouTube. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, there just wasn't too much to talk about from that game. Pass, 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 pass. We didn't even look like scoring today. No urgency. The players don't care. Why should I care? Why should I care? I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not even upset. I'm not even the slightest bit angry. I'm a little correction. I'm a little upset that I actually watched 90 minutes of Chelsea football today because it was absolutely draws today, and that was a as strong a lineup that we could put out there versus a rotated Newcastle lineup. That was a Newcastle team with no Tonali, who was out for injury or out for sickness today. No Bruno G, who's been out for quite some time. Joe Ellington on the bench. Who else did they rest today? Dan Burn wasn't there. They're starting first choice left-sided center back. Trippier, who you could probably say isn't their first choice right back anyways. But that was a Newcastle team that put out a side with one eye on a trip to the new camp. That was a Newcastle team that in the league is 13th, not in great form. That was a Newcastle side with a manager in Eddie Howe that Newcastle fans, especially the ones I talk to, shout out my homie D-Man, shout out Specs, that don't really want that guy in charge. And I'm going to be honest with you, they had to do very little today to stifle us. They had to do very little to make it difficult for us because we made it difficult for ourselves. Newcastle wasn't even great today. Newcastle didn't even have to come out of first gear. We played with no energy. We played with no urgency. We played with no heart, no desire. I can't think of one single person today that was a standout. One single person that I can say, you know what, everybody bar this player was on job today. Yo, shout out to Newcastle. Shout out to Eddie Howe. They set up very, very well against us. They got the goal. Disastrous of just absolute. If you want to summarize our season from the defensive side of things, just take a look at that goal, and especially under a senior, because for as good as I won't even say as good as the attack is, because it's basically just João Pedro and Inshallah, but we defensively are all over the place, and it starts with the setup and it carries over to the quality of players, because the setup leaves the quality of player on full display. And it's something's got to change. Something's got to change. Either the manager has to say, you know what, I've got to set us up to be a little bit more resolute, a little bit more defensively sound, or the players, or we have to get better players. And this is a squad that spent $2 billion, and we see who we bring in off the bench today. Newcastle brought on Joe Ellington. They brought on Dan Burn. Newcastle has a better squad than we do. Let's not get it twisted. We might have some very, very top players at certain positions: Reece James, Caicedo, Cole Palmer, when he's not being 2025, 26 Cole Palmer. But they have a better defense than us. Definitely better center backs. They have arguably better keepers than us. They definitely have better wingers than us. Anthony Gordon hasn't even been good this year. He's put up goals and scammed penalties in the Champions League, but I would take him over the majority of our wingers. Harvey Barnes has been pretty good for them this year, right? Even Elanga, let's not get crazy, KG. Let's not get crazy about Elanga, but we've got our own road runners in Neto, Garnacho. But the quality of the squad, the inexperience, the naivety of the manager, the it's a recipe for disaster. Or it's a recipe for Conference League. It's a recipe for Europa League. Today was a game that we had to win. We subbed off João Pedro versus PSG. We subbed off Cole Palmer versus PSG. And for what? For this attacking display? Right? You knew what Newcastle's game plan was. And I briefly mentioned the goal and then I went on a little tangent. But the goal, I mean, just the amount of space that we allowed Newcastle in the middle, no pressure on the pass, the amount of space that they had that I think, who was it? Murphy? Was it Murphy or Willock? I think it was Willock that had to run into. We've got Cucurella pushed up high on the left side. We've got Trevor Chalobah just vacating his center back spot to Mark Voltamata, who's behind the ball. Fofana, who at the time was 2-3 yards deeper than Anthony Gordon. Defensive line just all over the place. We've got guys trying to play offside, a couple guys trying to play offside trap. No pressure on the ball. How can you play offside trap in a high line with no pressure on the ball? You can't do that. That's a recipe for disaster. And they took advantage of it. One pass through. Guy gets behind Reece James. Reece James tries to recover, throws him off a little bit, and it's a simple FIFA sweaty goal. 2v1 versus Sanchez. Nothing Sanchez can do in that situation. He makes the pass. Anthony Gordon tries his best to screw it up. Takes a horrible touch. But even he couldn't screw it up in all the bad form that he's on this year. And, yeah, 1-0. You're like, okay, plenty of time left. We've seen Newcastle not see out results. They did it midweek versus Barcelona. And we're not even able to really, really touch it. We had a penalty shot at the end, which on further review wasn't a penalty. We're screaming for penalties for handballs when the guy has his hand behind his back, which very rarely, if ever, is going to be called. We had a couple of opportunities off of set pieces and corners where Fofana's putting it over. Trev is trying. He's getting punched in the head, which, is whatever these days. Nobody knows what a penalty is these days. But the fact that we're trying to rely on penalties, we're trying to rely on the referees and VAR to bail us out, just shows you how bad this team is, how out of depth the manager is. And even the manager, like I even feel sorry for him because the situation that we put him in mid-season, we're parting ways with somebody who overachieved with us last year, getting top 4, winning the Club World Cup, winning the Conference League with this squad, with this level of defender, of center back. Just, it's dark. It's dark. It's dark. We're an Everton away, a poor performance away at Everton from being in a top 7 race. And yes, I know it's fluid, and I know Liverpool's not good, United's not good, Villa's not good right now. But that's the company that we keep. We should have long separated ourselves from these guys. And I'm not saying title race because there's no way that this team can compete for the title. I'm just talking about being in that 3rd spot, being comfortably in 4th. We're going to struggle to even get 60 points this year. My goal at the beginning of the year was 70 points, 75 points, cut the gap between us and Man City and Arsenal and Liverpool. And it's only getting wider. And it's only going to continue to get wider because Liverpool's going to spend in the summer. Arsenal might strengthen in the summer. We know Man City's going to strengthen in the summer. If Aston Villa get Champions League, they're going to have money. They're going to be able to spend. Manchester United's always got money, despite being billions in debt. Yeah, it's peak, right? We got board members, so we got directors saying there's no direct correlation between managers and success. Ooh, it's all over the shop. We got secret meetings with content creators. We got stuff that we shouldn't be finding out about. It's peak, folks. I said this was going to be a short one, but it's dark. It's dark. But again, folks, I implore you, I beg of you, do not let this football club ruin your day. Do not let it ruin your week. Do not let it get to you. Because these folks at the top, they don't care. And it's evidenced out there every week on the pitch. So yeah, folks, do yourself a favor, disconnect a little bit. You got international window coming up. Take 2 weeks off. Don't even think about Chelsea. Don't even think about football. Don't watch any of the international games. Just spend time with your loved ones. I'm giving personal advice. That's how dark and how far it's fallen for this once highly thought of football club. But people, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on, hype the videos if you like it. Let me know in the comments what you thought about today. And as always, appreciate everybody.